Perfect. Welcome back to the show. My name is True. Welcome to Green Room Radio. I am here with my best friend and counterpart. And what else are you? My rhino partner. Little Rach is in the house.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for the honorary title, True. Love you too.
Hey, when you can hang out in there for 12 hours, you're doing something right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why you end up like me.
And then we have adult star Hazel Grace.
Welcome, Hazel.
I don't think people know how long we've been going back and forth. It's been at least a year.
No, yeah, I have a habit with that, with like a lot of the shows.
I'm notorious.
But we still stuck it in there though. We
did, and I always do. I'm a busy gal, but you guys, thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to be sitting beside this beautiful. I love blondes.
You love blondes?
I have a thing for blondes. Okay. So thank you guys for having me.
We were talking.
Our pleasure.
Hang on, I'll get back to this. And then we have a guest host who just so happens to be Hazel's friend and also adult star Taki. Tsunami.
Taki Tsunami, welcome. Hi. Yes.
Okay, now is that a porn name or is that your real name?
It's my porn name, but it's a moniker of my real name.
Okay. I'm just the Tsunami, and it scared me a little bit.
It gets really wet around these parts.
Spicy already. Okay.
Hey, so
I am hot, sweet, and spicy. That's the whole thing. You feel me?
Tasty, my favorite flavor.
So real quick, we're gonna start out because you were talking about something with your tooth. So we're gonna finish this story. What happened with your front tooth?
Okay, so
wait, what?
She was saying something about knocking her tooth out, like.
Yeah.
Hazel.
Okay, yeah, let's hear the story.
Yeah, we all shared our traumatic stories.
We have to trauma bond first.
Okay, trauma bond. Let's start it off. We're trauma bonding.
Okay, so 10 days after my 28th birthday last year, it was the F1 race that they block off every
Yeah.
I was so sad I missed it.
Fucked up the streets out here.
It was a great, horrible time to be in Las Vegas, to live here and to be here.
Yeah.
But basically, I was at this popular hotel. It's called the Cosmopolitan. Was just wandering around, freestyling.
It's popular. No, my favorite one.
It's the hotel for sure.
Hear that, Sean? The hotel.
And I was just wandering around and stuff like that, just trying to see if I could catch a couple of dates. And I ended up meeting up with this girl. We sat down at the bar, had a great time, just chatting each other up and stuff like that. And this guy just randomly walks up to us and he just starts chatting it up. And then he randomly says, well, do you guys want to come to hang out with me and my friends? So we look over and it's literally 5 other white guys, including him. So it's 6 guys to compare to us too. I'm like, all right, sure. We can, hang out with you guys, have a drink or whatever. It's fine. So at first they're like, oh, we're going to go out to dinner. Then we got a sprinter. We're going to go to a couple of clubs. It's going to be a great time. All right, sure. I like a party. Let's have a great time. We go downstairs. Everything is slightly okay until the girl turns around to me and she's like, hey, I just want to make sure that you're cool with everything that's about to happen or go down. I was like, this is what I came here for. Let's do this. She's like, okay, bet. We can have better discussion about, how to break things down later. In my mind, I'm like, break things down? What are you talking about? So we finally get to catch. We have a great time at dinner. Everybody's having a conversation across the table. Everybody's doing their own thing. At some point in the night, I guess we get a little too drunk and her titties just come out at catch. And I'm like, okay. No. And I think that she was still kind of reeling from like our titty bouncing contest that we had in the sprinter, and they're like, who had the best titties? He was like, the guy that was like, oh well, because hers are natural and they bounce a little bit better, so I guess hers are the best tits, although the other girls are bigger. So I'm like, okay, cool. So her tits come out at the table because she's still reeling about that. Okay, fine. So I'm talking to the guy beside me.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I'm talking to the guy beside me and he's like, so I already know what you guys are here to do, but I only have 5 for you. I was like, well, I don't really do anything less for 15. It was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Titty girl across the table hears half of the conversation. Bless you. Here's half of the conversation. And she's like, okay, well, I need to talk to you in the bathroom. I'm like, okay, we're about to get ready to go to the club. We're wrapping up dinner. Let's go to the bathroom and talk. I'm literally just standing there washing my hands. And she's like, yeah, so since I knocked these tricks for you, you owe me at least half of what you're going to make tonight. I said,
what?
Wow, you got pimped
by a girl, yeah.
So I was like, excuse me, what? Like, I literally just froze because I'm like, I'm not registering how does that information even go through?
Where's the math mapping?
How did that even work, Especially because you don't even know what I'm charging anybody, especially if you're hearing something from across the table. You didn't even ask me what I am going to make. You're just saying I owe you for whatever I do make. So I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen. And we can separate right now if that's what you feel like doing. And instead of responding to me, the girl hits me.
She punches you?
She literally bitch slaps
Was
me.
this a,
Damn.
what is it? Was this a black girl?
Yeah, it's a black girl.
Oh my, so she just punched you in the face?
No, she slapped me.
Slapped you.
She slapped me.
Hard enough for your tooth to come out?
No, wait for the rest.
Oh, no. Wait.
So
I'm about to say a
she
slap.
slaps me and then runs out of the bathroom. So I hog track her ass down out in front of the Aria, tackle her, and start wailing on her because why the fuck did you just hit me? What is your problem?
Right.
Like, at that point, I am not in Las Vegas. I'm back in Chicago beating a bitch's ass. So at that point, we're literally just fighting. Rolling around on the ground and stuff like that. Somebody pulls me off of her. She's cursing me out and stuff like that. Bitch, you owe me money, da 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 da. And I'm like, I don't owe you anything. What are you talking about? So the other guy is talking to me. He's like, let's just go back to the Sprinter. We'll just take you back to the hotel. We won't even go to the club. We'll just do something else. I'm like, okay, cool. So as I'm walking away, this girl literally jumps on my back and pushes me to the ground. So I literally slam my face onto the concrete.
Oof.
Oh.
And I chipped
Holy
myself.
shit.
I literally chipped my tooth at the meats of my two front teeth. So it's like half of my tooth is missing on the left side. And at that point, all I see is blood pouring from my face, and I just black out because I was that drunk to a point where I just started fighting her.
Right.
You guys scared the shit out of these white people, I guarantee.
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much. But I ended up still staying the night with the guys. She stole $600 from the guys
Oh my god.
at the dinner table while her titties were out.
Wow.
So they still turned
professional.
around and paid me for the night. I didn't even have to do anything but because I lost my fucking teeth. So I ended up
Right.
just doing an overnight with the guys, just spending time and hanging out with them. And I'm just like,
Where were these guys from?
so Florida, one other guy was from Virginia.
Yeah, Florida's like, we see this shit all the time.
No, seriously, like, one of the guys was a podiatrist and the other guy was a dentist. And he was like, oh, they're just gonna.
Oh, what are the chances?
You feel
Yeah, like what?
He was like, it's not even gonna be that big of a deal. You know, this is what they're gonna do. I'm just gonna hook you up with one of my friends out here, and they're gonna go ahead and take care of it. For you. So I ended up I ended up getting my tooth paid for.
That's fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome.
Do you think this was all a setup? Do you think he paid that to do that so that he could do this
Get a
whole
new
thing?
client.
Yeah. You guys thought he was going to be the client, but
He got you.
you were.
He was playing the long game.
Yeah, he was
playing the
like,
long game.
Dumb.
"We
I'm
gotta
a
get
client
this."
for life,
That'd be
basically.
something else.
By the way, this episode is sponsored by Smile Oasis Dentistry.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Hey.
Smile Oasis, shout out to them.
Shout out to them.
Yep. So
can you
if that
guys-
ever happens again, I got you. They got you.
I mean, if y'all want to go ahead and hook me up with a full smile,
Yeah, got it. Hazel, how
Hello.
long have you been in this business for?
Oh, wow.
How,
7 years. 7 years.
so what was your
I
age
got
when you
like 3
started?
more to go. I was 18, 19, 18, somewhere around
So
there.
you had a plan to cut off at what age?
30.
30 was
That
it?
wasn't always my plan, but that's my plan now. It's been a pretty solid plan since I launched in Melanin. Is that, I want to go hard these next 3 years. I'm back on set for Team Skeet. I'm doing kink.com. I'm on set for BJ's World and some other blowjob site in Florida that I just did. That was awesome. And so I'm back out there. I did take a year off to get my company launched.
Yeah.
But even at that point I had been in for 6 years. And it was constantly, oh, you haven't been nominated, you haven't done this, you haven't done that. And it's like, I mean, honestly, my whole life is not in porn, and I was also starting my company. So I decided I'm going to take a full year off to really just focus on that, and get us launched. And we launched on 4/20 of this year. And I started back shooting in February of this year. And so my plan now is to just go as hard as I can for the next 3 years, until I retire. And I'm going to go out with a gangbang, literally, quite literally. And so, yeah, I just want
Can
to,
Isaac being in the game?
I mean,
I prefer
Isaac
not
has
to
a
be,
yeah.
but-
like,
I mean, I'd like to see his goods first. I'm being very picky about who's in the gangbang. I mean, some of my best friends and true relationships that I've built over the years, on and off camera. Johnny Sins is gonna be in that gangbang. J Mac is gonna be in that gangbang. Tony Rubino is gonna be in that gangbang. Alex Jones is gonna be in that gangbang.
I have one.
Shout out to all of you guys. Scotty P is gonna be in that gangbang. Ricky Reyes is gonna
I
have,
know. I have one.
it might be 30 dudes on one. I'm down
Let's
for
go.
that.
I have one.
Let's go.
one
you with the
friend.
balloon just popping.
My little thing.
I have one guy. That's a porn star. Do you know John?
Yeah, we were actually just as I shot him for a melanin years ago.
He hangs out at the studio.
I thought he was retired.
My not boyfriend.
I don't know. I mean, I don't ask him anything, but he comes and hangs out. He's real chill.
He's on melanin.com. Check him out. But he's on my website as well. He's on Melanin.
Yeah.
What is this in melanin?
Yeah.
I mean, I see that we have a little bag here.
Yeah, I hope you love it.
This is so cute. I love it.
So,
And what is that?
yeah, a cum rag.
A cum rag.
Yeah,
Camera.
for all the jizz.
Oh yeah, we can see it.
For all the jizz.
Next.
I'm not going to say that it was my original idea. I actually bought a cum rag from the Museum of
such a
Sex
great
in New
idea.
York. And I was like, I'm going to make one of those for my fucking company. Like, no one's done that. Like, what? Cum rag.
Okay, wait. What's this company? In melanin.
So in Melanin Productions, we highlight women of color. So that's our
Okay.
specialty. We shoot women, the entire spectrum of brown. Our slogan is highlighting the beauty of brown. So Asian
Love
women, Middle Eastern women, Black women, of course. And so our mission statement is to provide work for women of color, so that there is enough work so that we can convince and incentivize more women of color to not only join the industry, but to stay in the industry, so that we can have more Jada Fires and more Septembers and more Anna Foxes and et cetera. Because it is dying down because there's no work there for them. So if anything, it's to provide an extra stream of income to women of color.
Why is there no work right now?
It's not necessarily that there's no work overall. Like the internet, kind of killed things for the bigger pay site companies,
Oh,
etc.
for the porn industry.
Yeah, but even still, like a lot of people don't see the value in women of color, and a lot of companies, unfortunately, if you go to most sites, it's not hard to recognize it's you'll see Black women, but it's a token. It's not as equal. It's not an equal playing ground. You can go to
Has it
Pornhub and
always
type
been
in
like that?
ebony, and you will still get a bunch of white women because they're allowed to tag their stuff as ebony and get away with that.
Oh,
But
wow.
like people that actually watch that porn, me, my husband, people like Sean that love women of color and that want to see
definitely watches
us
porn.
doing things, we notice that it's a 70-30. And we notice when we type in ebony, we still have to look through 20 white. Come on, we're telling you what we want.
Right.
And so if anything, it's a search engine for you to go to melanin.com, type in what you want, and you're not going to have to worry about looking. We have white women, token white women like you, on my site. We Val Dodds, Charlie Hart,
Don't be turning little
Pasta
Rach out.
Slut. Yeah. And
I would love to bump
But-
cookies with Rach if that's possible.
but by all means, our focus is definitely women of color. And
Love that.
yeah. I want to be
very
like Hugh
empowering.
Hefner.
And I see. I really like your necklace. That's the melon.
Well, yeah. I want her to be as famous as the Playboy Bunny one day. And I worked
Ooh.
I worked for 2 years to create her and make every hair in her afro perfect and just make everything I wanted her to be universal.
I like
and
the
then do you
earrings.
have adult stars that are under this in melanin?
Yes.
as
So
well?
I'm not an
where'd
agency,
that
so
name
the
come
girls
from?
don't necessarily work for me. That was another thing. Took me a year and a half after I actually had the conception of the idea of I want to do this. Again, from day one, it's I want this to be huge one day, empire. I'm going for, if I'm gonna do this, I want them to be on the platform that Hugh Hefner had Black women on. There are a lot of amazing.
He had Black women on a platform.
The Playboy uniform was
Yeah.
designed by a Black woman.
Got it.
He paid a Black woman to create that uniform, and he's always been super helpful. He also tokenized Black women by all means. It wasn't
if you think
equal.
about all
It's
of
never
that-
been
I think I saw
equal.
that on a
But at the
documentary.
same time, he did create strides for Black women in the industry, and I want to be like him in the sense of I want to be like a pimp in my house with all my girls one day, sort of vibe. And just also there's this, when you hear Playboy, there's this level of class to it, and there always has been. And there are many Black production companies, Black owned, that only focus on Black women or Black people of color, but it's never been that big, and I want it to be huge. And so I wanted every decision from the name to the logo I thought hard about, because that matters, right?
It does matter.
And so one day I'm driving 10 hours from Alabama to Miami to shoot the next week, and literally in the middle of my drive I go, in melanin. I don't know, it just came to me.
It came to you,
And
yeah.
I was putting together so many things. What's catchy? Where do you get the name? How do we make it as soon as they hear it, they know what it is. I'm trying to get all of this in my head, and I'm just driving in the middle of the night. I pull over on the side of the road. I go to GoDaddy.com and I purchase inmelanin.com right then and there.
Love it.
At 2 a.m.
Does that stand for anything?
Yeah, in melanin, because our focus is women of color. And I get this a lot now because people are like, oh, it's an interracial site. No, it's just that I don't care what the dick is. They're in melanin, and that's what we're worried about. As long as the woman is
Highlighting
melanated, that's what we're highlighting. So we do have Black on Black porn, but we do have more interracial porn right now. So I'm getting a little slack about that on the internet. But ultimately, they'll learn one day that it's in melanin. It's not about what's going in her, but we're in melanin.
Because if you think about it, we have black pussy on demand.
Black Pussy on Demand is our t-shirts that we sell. Like, yeah, we've got,
Love it.
Black Pussy gets you into the cookout. We've got like all kinds of super cool merch.
Listen,
That's
I
cute.
I recently
We
got
need some of
converted.
those.
I recently
I'll
got
get
converted.
one.
Yes,
Just
please.
so you guys know.
Yeah, he just got converted, and once you go black, you never go back.
Don't. So I'm.
I mean,
Right.
well, you said
Hey.
sewn on that mug, you know.
Uh-huh.
My man Sean was like. Nope.
Sean knows.
He's been
Sean
married
knows.
34 years.
She locked it down. She locked
Clink,
it down.
clink.
Clink, clink. the blacks get it. Clink,
Yeah, Sean says, darker the berry, sweeter the juice.
Young man, you need to watch.
But yeah, no, that's totally my vibe. But
So
me,
that's your out game.
yeah, that's my out game. But me as a whore myself, I do want to go hard for the last 3
Me as
years.
a whore.
Yeah, myself.
Love that. Love that.
I do want to go hard. I want to shoot for Brazzers again and Bang Bros again. Possibly do another anal scene because I've only ever done one. So it just depends
Yeah,
on.
Charleston's working with the Bang Brother guys.
Oh
They
yeah,
really
they're
did
awesome.
us.
They
Yeah.
were one of my first
They're-
scenes ever.
yeah,
I've never done the Bang Bus. I've never done the real estate, the black girls with the real estate thing that was super popular on Pornhub back in the days, where she was like your.
Bang.
No, you're fine.
The
Like,
property agent.
Yeah, it was like a big thing, and it was always the black
I
girls
know.
too.
I know a little bit about
And
porn.
like I just recently did some of my favorites that I used to actually jerk off to. I did Daughter Swap
You
for
jerked off.
Team
to-
Ski. Yeah, that was one of my favorites.
How do you
That
jerk
was
off?
one of my favorites. Oh, like I flick my bean, not like actually jerk off.
Okay.
I flick my
Jerk
bean.
off nowadays. Like,
Awesome.
Right.
bro.
But you were
Dude,
gonna
I
say
would love to say my wife is such a whore. You were like, I'm a whore.
I mean,
Yeah.
give it time. You can put a ring on it. Don't worry.
yeah,
I know.
give it time. Give it time.
I'm waiting. I waited a year.
We'll
to
come.
figure out
We'll
the
come
show.
back to
I'm
this one
patient.
later
I'm
in
patient
time.
as fuck. I waited a whole year. But no, that's actually a great plan. Great idea. I'm looking at the earrings. Do you guys still say the bigger the hoop, the bigger the hoe? Is that still?
That is a
That
thing,
is
but that
actually-
was not.
So I'm from Chicago, and that's the thing in Chicago. Like, especially if you're a blade walker, definitely the bigger.
That's
the
how
hoop,
you would know.
What's a blade?
For
walker?
me,
So a streetwalker, somebody
Streetwalker,
that
okay.
that does
okay.
like
I actually didn't
how
know
the
that.
trop is basically.
Okay.
Walks. Yeah,
Listen,
that's true.
I don't believe Tropicana because there's so many beautiful working girls on the strip. Are those pretty girls? I feel like Tropicana's all police because I'm like, there's such pretty girls I see walking
They're
out.
all police.
I feel like it.
That's hilarious. I heard that Drake got caught out here with one of those.
No,
I heard, yeah.
Everywhere.
I wouldn't doubt
think
it.
so.
Cop.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
but
undercover.
It's not necessarily. So,
I've been in jail a couple times for disorderly person, I guess we'll call it.
Can I smoke in here?
But yeah, for disorderly person. But when I was in jail, people would come in groups of 10, and I'm like, "What's up?" And they're like, we all got caught by the same bitch on Tropicana.
Damn.
And I'm like, and they were coming in 10 at a time, 10 at a time.
These hoes are working.
And I'm like,
know better.
Right? So when
Yeah.
I created the logo, I wanted, like, the most important things to me. One, the afro, very black, very, right? The earrings are not just black, it's also a Latino thing.
Yeah.
And then the big lips
Halo.
are like a staple for women of color. So those were the three things that I wanted to highlight: the earrings, the hair, and the lips. That's why we ultimately decided to not give her eyes at all.
that was my next question. Why
Yeah.
did she not have eyes?
Yeah.
And melanin is the true blacks on blondes.
Yeah. Blacks on Blondes. Did you ever watch that one?
No,
Blacks on Blondes was a big
I've
one.
never heard.
And it
of
was
that
always like tiny blonde girls getting fucked by big black dicks.
one.
So let me be weird for a second. My first like true memory of masturbating to porn was like the tiniest little white girl. It was like finally 18 or some shit.
Oh,
like
I've
that.
seen those.
But it was a gangbang, and I was just like, "This."
Oh, it was a
girl-
gangbang.
But it was it like broke my brain. And
I
I
Like how? How is that going in her?
bro, at both ends. Like, where is it going?
Every hole. Like, where is it going?
This, so
Makes
this
no
is,
sense.
this is what I always see. Okay, so are you guys? So does the size matter?
Oh, like penis size? No, it can't be too small.
Listen,
They can't do anything with something that's too small. But if you know what to do with it, so like in the porn world, we have a saying. I'm sure Taki's heard it. We've all said it. We prefer boyfriend dicks in real life because we take monster cocks on set. I don't want to fuck a monster cock more than 3 times a week. And if I'm dating you and like etc., I'm not gonna want to fuck you all the time because your dick is honestly in my fucking throat, coming through my vagina to my throat every
I
time.
don't need you
Like,
tickling my ears.
yeah.
Going in a
So
different
if you
hole.
have an average, like I'll even take 5 to 6, but 7 to 8 is usually what a girl will say. and you know what you're doing, you're good.
Honestly, for me,
average in the U.S. is 5, right?
I feel like
average in the U.S. is actually 6.57 inches.
6.5.
But actually, so they started measuring dicks by centimeter recently, and that's actually been helping people get an understanding, especially from a Eurocentric span, because everybody doesn't measure our U.S. Metric system.
Thank God, am I right? Just kidding.
This guy. Did you Google us?
Every centimeter
I was trying to
counts.
get the logo up so I could put it up on the screen. So
Oh yeah, type it in melanin.
I just found it, so I'm gonna have it up in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Hey, well, when I see porn and I see the big black guys, it doesn't look like it's going all the way in. It looks like it's only going like half
I
of
don't
it.
know, it'd be in there.
It'd be in there, and then sometimes on set they'll tell you don't run from it. Because they can tell. Don't run. Yeah. Because like I've been on a set where it's like, oh God, like this is a big dick. This is hard. And I'm trying to like, oh, they're not going to tell.
Like
it's
you're
on camera.
bracing. You're
yeah.
kinda, like,
and you're bracing
tensing
for it.
up.
You're like
Yeah.
moving a little away from. They're like, don't run from it. Like we can tell you do it. Like don't do that.
Damn.
Like we'll give you a second, but like don't do that. They're not like forcing you, but like don't do that.
Like, do you guys do like training beforehand?
Some companies will let you stretch if you're working with a big talent, and like especially if you're doing anal. My first anal scene and only ever anal scene, tushy.com, check it out. But they were like, we know it's your first anal, and I had stressed to them that I don't really like anal, etc. Like, you know, it's not something I do. They gave me, I think they were like, honestly, take your time, but they gave me like 20 minutes with my male talent in the room alone, because sometimes they'll give you time, but like the crew's still setting up, like there's a lot going on. They're like, no, we're gonna put you guys in the bedroom alone and give you guys time to get acquainted with each other and his huge penis acquainted with your butthole before we get started. And then some guys or some companies before set, even if it's just vaginal, will be like, okay, if you've never worked with this talent before, like, and the guy will say, hey, my dick is like really thick. Do you want to try it before we go on camera? And so it's up to the girl. And if it's really big, I'll say, yeah, we need to try this out in the bathroom real quick, because you're not going to have me looking crazy on camera.
Right, if you can't like fit it in or whatever.
But also pretty girls help. So the stills that you would take for like DVD covers, box covers, etc. Those moments where you actually see like their
sex stills.
or the sex stills, those are actually done pre-shot. I'm sorry.
For some companies, some will make you stop in between each shot and take
I've
those
heard
pictures.
that.
Yeah.
I have fortunately never had to deal with that, because that would stress me the fuck out, honestly.
Like if you're having sex midway.
What about the guy?
They'll make you stop.
But the
Wait,
guy
this
is
looks great
fine.
right here. Just stay right here, just like that.
Yeah, no, it'll be, I'm going to let you finish.
So it'll be basically like you take moments where, but before you even do the scene, you'll do your regular clothes shots, you'll do your porn shots, but you'll actually do poses where you're actually in set doing the different poses that you're going to do. Sometimes they will, you know, if you cut or whatever and you don't do a couple of stills, they will have you go ahead and go back and do that.
Yeah.
From whatever position that you stopped at. Basically.
But basically the directors that do that are trying to get all of the pictures. As she mentioned, you're doing the full picture, the full outfit, the lingerie, then the breakdown, then the sex, and then you go into the scene and you get to kind of vibe it out more, right?
Do you guys,
but some directors will. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I was just wondering. Do you guys know like what positions you're gonna be in for the scene?
Sometimes.
Yeah. So
okay. So they'll like say we're gonna go to this and then we're gonna go to that and then this position after.
it's not necessarily. It just kind of depends on the director you're working with.
Okay,
Because
fair.
The ones that
scene.
Yeah, the ones that do the pictures first will usually say, you know, there's a universal doggy riding that you want to see in porn, but then you don't know if you're gonna do mish or like spooning or etc. There's like some options, but you're always gonna do riding and you're always gonna do doggy.
And you're always gonna do a dick sucking one with the clothes on. Like clothes female, naked male, nude male is really big. So especially right now, so they will always usually do like the guy standing over you, or you doing a cum shot with your lingerie on, or like whatever the case may be. But they do it in a way that's like you're setting it up to make it so that they're already enticed to go ahead and watch this.
How does the guy handle the little stop?
So that's what I was gonna say. The directors that do it that way are usually more of a vibe. The directors that do it the way where they're like, okay, so those directors will say, you're gonna do the doggy, the riding, and whatever other position we do in pictures, you don't have to do that in sex. It's just one of the pictures that's going to be in the photo set. It doesn't matter. The guys that do it the other way you do your dialogue, then you get into sex, and they're like, all right, stop. Because you know you're only going to need 5 to 6 to whatever minutes of each position. So once he gets what he needs in that position, he'll say, all right, stop. Let's get pictures of this. And I have to stay horny and the guy has to stay hard. Yeah. So usually if you're friends with your talent, they're going to keep it moving when he's not snapping, just to kind of keep you guys both going. But if you don't like that guy, or you've never worked that person, the guy doesn't know if she's comfortable with that, you might just be sitting there still trying to keep your dick hard while the director is getting pictures from different angles of this. And then he'll be like, all right, start back up. Same energy. Yeah. Same energy from 5 minutes ago when we stopped you.
Now there
Start back up and let's keep going. And if girls kill it, we, it's not the end
Have
of the world,
guys
but
ever
like it
just
is
went-
part of the
Have
job.
guys just ever
Yeah.
died out?
Yes.
Have guys?
So
Yeah.
sometimes there are guys who need fluffing, and they will ask. Sometimes they will ask you before set even starts, "Are you comfortable with fluffing? Is that something that you?"
Yeah, it's up to each girl.
Is fluffing still-
They're not
I
on
feel like
sets. You don't have a fluffer on set anymore. It's up
Yeah,
to your
that's what I was
talent
gonna
if
say,
she's
but-
willing to do anything with you off camera.
Right. So there's also some guys who do Viagra or whatever pills that's out there, or there are some guys that actually shoot. I don't know what it is into their dicks, but they stick a needle in their dick and help it keep hard.
I've heard.
just for like temporary.
But it is concerning sometimes because it does sometimes even after you ejaculate, it doesn't go down. So that's something that you have to watch out for. But otherwise, like there are guys that are just like, oh, I'm gonna just go ahead and do this real quick, and at least I'll stay hard throughout the entire set, whether I get in the mindset or not.
So
Do you get to pick the people?
no, I had this weird. I was actually about to tell a story about like this one
Yes.
guy that I vibe with so hard on set.
Tell us.
And it actually was weird because like I got my call sheet, and I think like a few days before, and he was not supposed to be my talent. I actually saw my talent on set a couple of like the day before, and then somehow he canceled. So I don't know, but like so then they had to replace my talent the day of. So I get to set, and they're like, "Oh, I think this is gonna be your talent instead." And I'm like, "Oh, it's fine." And it was this random name. Like, I think I know him. Like, it's okay. But then at the last minute, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Your talent is actually gonna be this guy." And I don't know. I'm gonna fuck it. It was Will Pounder. He's like, "It's gonna be Will Pounder." I said,
Will Pounder?
My entire body just went. I was like, "Fuck, I'm so happy now. Like, this is gonna be an amazing fucking day."
Because you really wanted to
Will
work
Pounder.
with
I
him.
love working with him, and he will pound her. He will pound her. And so it was one of those days where, like, yeah, we had to stop for stuff, but even when like we'd stop, we're not rolling, the director's giving us notes on what we need to do next, dialogue, etc. He's still fucking me, like literally fucking me. And we're both like, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, and that's next, all right, yeah, and like that's the kind of vibe that I like on set because we're gonna get our nuts off.
Love
You know what
it.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes you don't know if you're gonna really get your nuts off on set that day. Like,
Fair. Yeah.
Sometimes
Because it's just straight work.
It's
yeah.
work. It's
Yeah.
work. It's work. But I got my nuts off that day.
Have
Cheers
you
to
ever-
Will Pounder.
Yeah, Will Pounder. These names, man. I forget what the last
Will
name.
Pounder.
Will Pounder. Have
I
you
love
ever?
it.
So what if you go in there and you're just like fucking not attracted to the dude?
I looked them up.
You look
That
him
was a
up.
very random thing where it was like a last minute booking where it's like, oh, your talent canceled. But usually they'll let you know before set. And if I don't like them, I don't like them. I'm like, oh, can we get someone else?
And you're able to do that. And they're like, no problem at all.
And you have a no list too. There's people that you
considered
already know you don't want to work with. That's a no list that
Oh,
your
yeah, I
agent
learned
has to
that.
provide
Somebody
to
just told me
them
about
for
that.
casting, to the company for casting.
Now, I have a good question. So, what is the lure into the porn industry versus the OnlyFans industry? Because I know a lot of people are like, well, why not just do OnlyFans? What is the lure to get
OnlyFans-
into the porn
Let me
industry?
give you a little history. OnlyFans is the millennial child of porn that started in the we sold this film that was black and white that was filmed on like one of the first whatever in our store back when I was working retail sex
What
work.
was that called, Sean?
And so porn, people filming having sex has been going on since the dawn of time. What people were never prepared for was the evolution of technology over time, right? So you have first, you never had movies. You had the old school movies like right, but that wasn't a big deal. What really boomed first was the magazines, and people would jerk
Right.
off to the magazines, not even a video, just
What
looking
were
at
the
someone.
magazines?
I mean the Hustlers,
Hustlers,
the
yeah.
all of the
ones
old
with
school,
topless,
etc.
yeah.
Yeah, because before that, honestly, guys would jerk off the jet, fully clothed women, but they were just hot models. But then it moved on to Hustler and Playboy, etc. And then all the other wonderful magazines that came behind. And then of course, Larry. During that time, you have the internet that's also becoming a thing. Before that, while the magazines were becoming a thing, they're creating DVDs. Right, so VHS and DVD is a thing, and they've got a hold on this industry because you have to go and purchase these things. You have to purchase the thing, right? And then Larry wins the Supreme Court case that makes says porn is legal and this is a thing. Then the internet becomes a thing, and the industry was ultimately not ready. They're like, we have our DVDs, we have to put these things on the internet now, etc. And then piracy's a thing, and there's that whole thing. So then, all right, so as porn becomes this thing. Back in the 90s, they would fly a girl out, and Vivid or Wicked would sign a girl like Lisa Ann to a contract for a year, and you're living in LA for a year. We're shooting you probably a few times a month, and you're just under contract with this company. You don't even necessarily need an agent. They're finding girls that are willing to do porn, and those are the big old school names that you know, like Lisa Ann, Jenna Jameson, shout out, etc.
Yeah.
So then there gets to a point where they don't understand how the internet's really working, and agents become a thing, and they're bringing in more and more girls, and then the turnaround becomes a thing. So the Lisa Ann days are kind of over, where they're just flying a girl out and they're signing her because they're realizing that the internet, they can't just put out one DVD a month anymore. They have to like be on it, and they have to be on it, right? So then progression goes on. The girls realize that now that the companies have a revolving door of new women, they're not making the same money that they were. So they're like, oh, if they can use these tube sites, I can create my own website, right? So that was the next step. And then after I can create my own website, the Pornhubs pop up. And then the girls are on Pornhub instead of creating their own website, which is a lot more work to create your own website rather than to sign up and be able to put your stuff on another website.
Right.
And then the companies are on Pornhub, and everyone kind of floods over to these tube sites, right? Then that opens the door for a company like OnlyFans, which just takes it one step further to now because Pornhub did have a section where you can message the girls. No one used it, but you can DM a porn star. I'll sometimes randomly check and there's a friend thing. It was supposed to be a social network.
Oh, wow.
And that's why they got their whole thing started, because they were letting any and everyone could go to Pornhub and upload, because it was supposed to be a social network. But any and everyone should not be allowed to upload adult content. That's why they had that whole situation.
Gotcha, right.
So the next step was, the girls you're not getting that one-on-one connection with the porn stars like you thought you would, which they got a taste of that when the girls were creating their own websites. They got a little more of a taste of that when the girls were creating Pornhub, etc. And it's way closer than when they were just buying these girls from these websites, from DVDs, etc. OnlyFans takes it one step further, and at a perfect time, mind you, because of the pandemic, where you can actually speak to these girls and talk to them, and it takes the fantasy that step further. I wouldn't say that OnlyFans, like, to answer your question, I know that was like I just needed to give you the history of it. I wouldn't say that OnlyFans is like better or worse than the other, because OnlyFans to me is like, okay, it's also like stripping. If you do a mainstream film, your OnlyFans is going to do numbers, and you're going to do way better in the strip club, because you did a mainstream film for a big company.
Right.
You could be on OnlyFans fighting amongst 10,000 other women, and like, how are you really going to get yourself out there? You know what I mean? So like, they have their own benefits.
It kind of branches you out to another way.
Have you ever been a dancer?
I've never been a dancer.
I have been a dancer, but I also have something to add to the OnlyFans bit.
Yep.
So when it comes to shooting mainstream porn, you get paid for that scene. Whatever the
no
company
royalties.
makes, whatever the company makes is what the company makes. They've already paid you for appearing on the set. When it comes to OnlyFans, you have to produce, edit, and sell your own content, as well as marketing and branding yourself as a specific
But you get the residuals.
But it also matters like me, I've been on major porn sets, but I also haven't been shooting a lot for porn since I stopped working with an agency. So it's been more so on the legwork of people have seen me on these mainstream sets, but then have to go looking for me in my porn. So it's like, okay, then I have to produce the content. So that's the kind of the difference with OnlyFans and with porn or mainstream porn, because not only are you taking yourself and creating an own entity and building it for your OnlyFans, but as far as a brand in itself, that's what you are to a porn set.
You're doing everything that company that hired you to show up for the day is doing for you.
Exactly.
When you get that flat rate and you show up and they're taking care of lighting, sound, location, crew, they're filming, they're doing pictures, they're editing, they're producing, they're dropping it, they're doing promo. You have to do all of that for your OnlyFans. And so for me, I started mainstream, and when OnlyFans came around, like, I still use it, but to be honest, like, I can't, I'm a pretty big name. And so I can't respond to 100 people a day on top of everyone else that I talk to. And I like to keep my OnlyFans genuine, so I don't have anyone running it other than me. So I have my diehards that stick around, and like I provide content for them there, but I'm not always there to talk to them, which I know is the lure of OnlyFans. But when I am there, I'll send them a video message, and they know that they're speaking directly to me, who is plastered all over Pornhub
not the gay
every
assistant.
fucking month. And they're like, this is Hazel fucking Grace. She shot for Brazzers, etc. So for me, I'm not a dancer, and I don't really care to run my own. It's not my focus, it's my OnlyFans. So for me, is the exposure. I prefer to be on set for a day and for everyone to do it for me. And while doing that, that's how I learned starting as a PA and then doing sound and then doing lighting and then doing set design. And I was then able to create what I have, like, from learning behind the scenes. And I started as a talent sucking dick, and I'm a very curious girl. Like, while the dick's in my mouth, why are you moving that light? What's going on? He's like, well, this is a sea light. I'm like, what's a sea light? You know, like, I am a very curious person. And
Like, what's a
For me, I started
sea light? Is sea?
right. But I started out with camming, and with camming,
That's what I was gonna ask next.
so
I did cam when I was a bored housewife. My lighting was horrible.
I actually started out with a major cam studio out in LA, and even with me working with them, it still took a lot of logistics and learning how to set everything up, doing all of your tech stuff by yourself. Even though you have like a managerial team helping you out and stuff, there's still a lot that you can learn from that experience of still being like, okay, well, this is what I need to do in order to make this lighting work or to get these specific angles and stuff. Like, you learn how to kind of set up your tripods or whatever to make it look like there's another person in the room, even if you're doing solo work or whatever the case may be. So it's more so just
I offer classes. I've
You offer classes on what? On what?
I know. Since when?
I've had some of the best of the
angles?
business camming in here. I see the
Oh.
secret.
Oh, I thought you had like dick
No,
angle tricks
no,
for us.
I don't have.
He's on Feet Finder.
Oh, are you on
Feet
Feet Finder?
Like, he sells toe pics.
Shout out to Feet
I
Finder.
was actually
Feet
gonna
Finder.
say,
Shout out to feetfinder.com.
I'm not a foot.
He's on the
person.
Meet Sugar Daddy website.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
He's the
I can see that.
Sugar
Secret
Daddy.
encounter.
I can see
Secret
that.
Encounter.
Secret
But-
encounter.
oh, okay.
I'm always
Seeking
looking for like I feel like there has to be, you know, those shows and like movies that are always allude to like this underground dating site for like the super elite. I'm like, how the fuck do Raya on there?
Oh my God.
Is that Raya?
It's Raya.
Oh.
I love that site. Yeah.
I've heard of Raya. I don't know what it was.
as a working whore. I quite love Raya.
Oh,
Have you
I
guys
think I've
ever-
heard of that?
Have you guys
before.
ever been in
My friend
Diddy's
used
tunnels?
And no, I have friends that have, but no.
in the tunnels
So
There
actually,
was tunnels.
in
I-
Las Vegas?
No,
I
Diddy
was-
had tunnels. Up
So again, I'm from Chicago, and I actually have several friends that were surviving R. Kelly. So
Good.
I actually have been in R. Kelly's house. I have cousins that live near his old wife's house, so in Olympia Fields, etc.
How'd you get out of there?
I mean, it's a little hard, but I mean, honestly, like, there are a lot of people, like, especially like a lot of porn stars, sex work girls, whatever the fuck, who have dealt with a lot of these major celebrities, no name drops, but it's still a lot that you don't know that has just been, it hasn't even been surfaced.
Can I just say
Thrown
that
under the rug,
that's all super new to
know?
me. People think that I'm like you, right? I'm normal as fuck. I'm
I
a
am
super
not.
southern, small town
I
girl.
can tell that. I told her. That today.
I'm starting
Yeah.
to meet celebrities are starting to come up to me more than ever, and like, you know, in my DMs, etc. And like, I usually just won't respond. Like, I don't know how to approach
you.
or talk to someone like that, and I don't necessarily want to either.
What's crazy?
To be quite
is
honest,
they feel the same way.
Yep.
I say that with undercover police. Undercovers feel just no. Listen, undercovers are just as scared to come up to you as you are to come up to an undercover. They don't.
it's not that I'm scared. It's just that, like, well, yeah, maybe a little bit of anxiety, but mostly just like,
Well, you
I don't
don't know
know. Because I've met, like, I have a few friends now that, like, once they meet me and we hang out together, we're like, oh, we're a vibe. And, like, they're super big names. Some of them
Yep.
huge right now, like, no name drops. But, like, we vibe together. Like, we're both normal people. We're just both in this period of our lives where, like, we're, like, blowing up. And we don't really know how to be around the people that we're, like, constantly being around. Like,
Celebrities are regular people.
yeah, and I also don't know a lot of them. Like, they'll come into my DMs and I'm like, who are you? Like, I'm sorry, no
Right.
offense, I'm gonna love Charleston once I meet him, but like, I don't know things like that. I'm not I don't keep up with stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm like, but I know friends that have been with some, you know, all of the big names, and it's just like, oh, that's crazy to me. Like, that's
Dude, we
crazy.
did you guys have any experiences? We toured one year with Marilyn Manson.
Oh, he's great.
Some of the
I had a friend that toured
some
with
of the
him.
porn stars that I know, they were like, bro, we know girls, and
He's insane.
Well, no, they were saying that he fucked him up like mentally though on like whatever he does, and I'm like, that's weird because he's from Ohio, I'm from Michigan. He had that vibe with me, so I'm like, they're talking about this devil worshiping, and he gets these girls, and he's like, they fuck these girls up permanently, and I was like, I don't know if they're just saying that because he was a nice guy. His dad is actually a fucking pastor.
So I think what it is that a lot of people don't understand spiritual religious tactics, especially even if they were raised religious or whatever the case may be. Not too many people understand a lot of things outside of their small town. So I,
Exactly.
as a person that is very open to a lot of different prospects of life or aspects of life, I can understand why people will be kind of weirded out by Marilyn, but then be like, well, he was a really sweetheart, but I just didn't understand, or this made me feel weird.
Did you think it was a good
Just by
idea
even the
that
way he looks.
that he took his rib out
That-
so he could suck his own dick?
I think
That's what
that
it is
if
for
you
the
are
red
an
thing.
autoerotic person or an
Red thing.
autoerotic,
That's how I've always known him.
Think I wonder
if you are an autoerotic person, I think that if that's what something that makes you feel comfortable and happy to do things yourself, and I'm an abrosexual person, so I get it. Like sometimes you just want to do it yourself.
I know it's super flexible. I don't know this person, but I remember being young and curious and typing into Pornhub, like, is that possible? And there is a person that can do it. He didn't have to remove a rib. He's
What,
super
suck his
flexible.
dick?
He can suck his own dick. He's a massive dick and he's super flexible. And he can suck his own dick and he gets paid a hella money because people pay money because they want to see weird shit.
Yep.
It's like the the circus used to be a thing. Random humans, the
I used
women
to
with
wanna go to
mustaches,
the
Siamese,
carnival.
like that. People are humans are intrigued by stuff like that.
Yeah, I used to want to run away to the circus, so I get it.
What would you do at the circus?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what would your act be?
I would
Yeah.
definitely like either be a trapeze artist, or I used to be a gymnast in high school, so
like a
I think
contortionist.
I would definitely either be a contortionist.
I could
or,
see
like,
her doing
or
that.
like
I
one
would
of the
be-
girls that come out of the magic boxes and shit like that. I would definitely.
I feel like I'd be a musician's
or even a
assistant.
burlesque.
I'd be in
dancer.
the kissing booth.
Oh, same. Oh, let me come in there with you.
That's where
Like
I'd
you be
be.
the boy, I'll be the girl.
Just like
At the circus.
you can have a kissing booth.
Kissing booth was always at the circus, right?
Shit, I forget.
the
It's
kissing
been a
booth was a
minute
thing.
since I've been to the circus.
Have you guys ever
Yeah, it's
heard
been
of the
a minute.
Barnum and Bailey?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was one of the biggest things in Chicago.
Yes.
Detroit, too.
Yes. I used to go to their shows all the time as
In
a kid. I'm
Alabama?
from Maryland, so like, yeah, DMV baby.
DMV. I just learned.
Hey.
I just learned what that
Cheers,
was
mama.
not too long ago.
DMV.
Yeah, the DMV.
DC,
baby.
Maryland, Virginia.
I love DC.
It is not the Department of Motor Vehicles. Okay, it is
not.
DC, Maryland,
God.
First
Virginia.
time I heard it, that's what I was like, you're at the DMV.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Oh, you're from that? No, I'm from DC, Maryland, Virginia.
Do you have that pic that I gave you earlier?
and
today?
it's so like small, but it's literally
But
you
it's
just call it the DMV because you can go across state lines so easily.
So
it's not
easily.
an acronym for Dixon More Vagina. Got it.
No.
Dixon
That would be
Moore
great, though.
Vagina.
Stop. I didn't
Yeah,
even think
Virginia
about that
is for
one.
lovers.
It is. But it's
Virginia
for
is for lovers. Okay.
That's shit. was crazy.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
So webcamming was very interesting. I got.
I only did that as a bored housewife. I didn't
Yeah.
really perfect that at any point.
What made you
It was
want to
just
get
the vibe.
married? Is it just? small
Yes,
town?
Hazel. Why
Coming from
did
the
you
South,
get
I don't know. Like I never thought I'd be married. It was just one of those things that literally kind of just happened. And he's my best friend. Like,
That's a good.
How'd
picture,
you
by
meet
the
your
way. I'm
partners?
sorry.
Welcome.
We
Like,
threw it
Yeah,
out
let's
there.
get married.
Oh yes.
so he was going to be leaving for the Marine Corps, and in order for me to go with him to California, like they're very much old
She's
fashioned.
like, I want
yeah.
more money.
They
when I
have to
get
be married. Well, no, in order for me to go with him, we'd been dating for like a year and a half, 2 years, and we were
Wow.
doing pretty good. We'd even had this like hiccup in our relationship where like we couldn't go back to, we needed a place to stay for a little bit, and we couldn't go back to my parents' house because we weren't married. My parents are old fashioned. We couldn't go to his parents' house. And so we were like staying with a friend for a while, and then like eventually it was like, we didn't want to be apart after that again because we had kind of made it through that, at least. And so when he was getting ready to leave, it was like I could have stayed, but it was like, let's just get married. We didn't have plans on leaving each other. Neither of us ever had plans on getting married, but it wasn't like it was like, we're literally just doing this so I can go with you and can continue going on like our journey. We didn't put too much pressure on it, etc.
Due to the military and all that.
Yeah, and then we moved out to California where he was like, this will be great for you to start your career in porn, because he'd already okayed for me to do porn before we got engaged. And so I was slowly starting. He was like, well, if we go out to
You
California,
think he's
we're
ever? You
married.
think he's ever been jealous? Like,
I
ever
mean,
just
sure.
on
I'm
a
sure at
DL?
some point. I mean, he's a
Yeah.
human.
No, that's
I've
what I
been
said,
jealous.
as a human. I
Yeah,
think
I've
all
been
humans-
jealous. And ultimately, like, I do everything that in my power to make my husband comfortable and confident,
Yeah.
and not make him insecure. So if he says no, it's no. I have so much freedom. Like, there's millions of people out there, and I can hook up with whoever I want. If he says no to this one person, like, like, we've had our issues, but like ultimately, like, he is my human.
I was just about
And
to
so
ask
I
you,
think
that's your
person.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
feel like
I
a
think the
lot
more
of-
that I prove that, the less jealous he gets.
A lot of girls in the business that I've came in, that I've dated, which I never thought I would, they just seem very like humanized. And I'm, like when I meet them, I'm just like, yo, and it's even like a stripper. Like, you give so many dances to guys that you just it's like it's not even cool anymore, and you can tell that, and it fucks you up because you're like, you're desensitized to everything.
Yeah.
You have
I can
feelings,
actually-
I got
Like,
lucky though because my husband and I had a connection before I got into sex work.
See,
And we were
there it
also
is.
swingers, so we were already on that. We were already sharing each other and doing the open thing, etc. And like,
So it's
for-
easy.
yeah, when I came to him, it wasn't.
who
It wasn't.
wanted to
Can I
do
do
that?
porn? When I came to him, it was. I worked 3 years at an adult store, and over that time, gained the confidence
You
to
little
say I'm
freak.
gonna do this. And I came to him and I said, Would you mind? And he's like, What do you mean? I'm like, I'm gonna be on the internet. You know, like people are going to come to you, people are going to come to me, people are going to have things to say. I know that you don't care, but like there's a lot of things that we have to consider. That was the only question. It
Did he
wasn't me
wanna be
doing
a
porn. It
swinger,
wasn't me.
or was it you?
Yeah, we were both open. We grew up in a small town in Alabama, and I remember like going on dates. We were really getting to know each other, and we had that conversation of just like, oh fuck, are we both like the only of our kind in this
Are
small
we like
fucking
black
yeah,
sheep?
Like,
Yeah.
literally, I was like, hey, well, I'm down for you to fuck other women. He was like, well, I'm down for you to fuck other women. It was like one of those things.
What is that
So
called?
I have a question. Is polyamorous? So polyamorous,
And-
so it's just depending on if you guys actually date other people versus it
Yeah,
being
being
oh,
open
have
means you
sex.
just have
Right.
sex with other people. Being poly means that you can date other people.
Hey, we've
Right.
had
So
we've
I
had
actually have a question.
we've had poly people on here real quick. There's not one that said that they made it over a year. So I just think
I've been with my husband for 8 years total. We just celebrated 6 years of marriage.
Consider poly.
We are, because I've had boyfriends. Those were my problem. Any issues we've had, that's usually what happens, but I'll cut them off if I have to. But like, we've had our issues. We've been married for 6 years, and yeah, we've been open the whole time. And yeah, I've been doing.
So just like guys are. So if I was one of your husbands, I'd just be like,
not one of my husbands. I only have one husband, but I have boyfriends.
Boyfriend. Yeah.
My boyfriends, you know, like it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I've had boyfriends that get crazy and want me to leave my husband, but like the ones that stick around and that like I've had some of my boyfriends for years. Like Mike got the yacht for us like 2 years in a row. He takes care of me and my girls, my company. Like I've had my boyfriend in New York for years, my boyfriend in Utah for years, and it's like I see them when I'm in town. We check up on each other, we text each other, like etc. But it's like they're also looking for the love of their life. I'm just here in the meantime, and we both understand that and respect that. You know what I mean?
Amazing.
Yeah, like, yeah.
So my question is, what is something that you feel comfortable sharing, like freaky, that you and Carson have done together? Like
Who's Carson? What was it?
the husband.
My husband.
I'm sorry if I name drop.
No,
him.
he's fine. Everyone knows his name.
Okay, so what is something that you definitely are like?
Hang on, it's not Carson Daly, is it?
No,
Okay.
he's not. No.
It's an old school MTV guy, but
Yeah, I know who that. Okay,
Yeah.
No, that's not her husband.
no.
But okay, so like
That'd be
something
crazy if it
that
was.
you can imagine, like something that. So I actually have two questions actually. What is something really freaky that you and Carson have done together, and what is something that you would either want to introduce to him or want to like be like, I'm bringing my husband into this sexy ass moment type shit?
I did that recently. That last question.
Okay.
Charlie Hart, my best friend, had an orgy for her 40th birthday party,
Okay.
and my husband went on camera for the first time.
Oh yeah.
To
the
participate in the gangbang / orgy. And so
Goddamn
I'm
it.
happy to announce, like,
What am I
so
doing?
you never know how an orgy's gonna go. You never know how an orgy's
doing?
gonna go. Like, who's gonna do what first. So they're all starting on Charlie because it's her birthday. She's
It's
sucking all
like
their dicks,
Twister
etc.
out of control.
Carson fucks her first, then comes and fucks me, then fucks Naomi, then fucks the other girl before anyone else can get their dick in anyone. I'm like, he is vibing. Like, this is his first time. At the end of it, they're all like, "Are you sure he's not a porn star?" And I'm like, "No, he's never fucking done this before."
Lars have a porn stash.
He's got a porn stash, and like he killed it. He killed it. And he doesn't have his Marine body anymore, so he's like a little insecure about that.
He has a
But
dad bod.
he has a dad
Hey,
bod.
You guys
now.
like dad bods?
I do. I love him. Oh God, he could look like Sean. I would love him.
Yeah. I honestly, older
He's getting
white
there.
men.
He's getting there.
I have to say this: older white men have this weird sexy-esque thing about them. Like I used to be a Hooters girl.
That's where it all starts.
You
All
know?
starts. With,
So that's where I got my start with like get dancing and stuff like that. So it was just like talking to older white men, getting that white hair, you know, just like
you know what's funny?
Little silver fox.
I've
moment.
seen so many I've seen so
Yeah.
many girls have a sugar daddy, and he could be 80 years old, not good looking, whatever, and they're like, my trick, whatever. But then he finds another girlfriend, and you see these girls fall apart. All of a sudden, they're in love with him. Like, oh my god, like what?
You thought you loved me.
And I'm like, you're crying over the fucking old guy. You
No.
fuck about like what the fuck?
The wildest
Crying
thing.
about their money messing up.
That's what it is. That's what it is, girl. That's what it is, girl.
Wow.
The wildest thing that
Come on
we've
now.
ever done. Wow.
because you did say he was pansexual. So I'm very curious. As a queer person myself, I want to know.
The wildest thing we've ever done is definitely like a foursome with another couple. Yeah, and there was, I'm not going to go into detail,
Okay.
but there was a lot going on. It was amazing. It was fucking
sucky.
There was so much like freedom and like flow amongst the four of us, and like it was just like
That's fun.
it was amazing. Yeah.
What happens when you get in that situation and then somebody who, you know, they pull somebody in poly and maybe they're not that way? Have you been in that situation where like the guy gets mad?
Oh, like the couple's off. You can tell as a couple that's been doing this for some couples fall into that trap, and I've heard stories. But like as a couple that's been doing this for a while, we can see signs of when we're hanging out with you and we're not bringing you back to our bedroom. If you're gonna be weird, or you guys are gonna have
Start
beef with each other,
acting.
or
catch
beef with us.
You'll catch it before.
And,
And
like,
like as a unicorn, like it's weird.
We don't even like non-full swaps.
Yeah.
Like if we're doing a couple and it's like, oh, he can only have sex with his wife, and me and the girl can interact, but like that's kind of it. And it's like, why are you wasting my time? But yeah, no, I've had another rule because someone asked me this. Charlie asked, do you guys have the 30-10 rule or something? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Basically, she's asking me, do we take grenades for each other? No.
Wait,
If
take
both of them are,
grenades?
so this is a thing within the swinger and the lifestyle community. It's rare that both, like, there's hot couples out there, right?
Yeah.
So both partners in the couple are hot, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll get that, but usually one person in the couple is hot and the other one's like not hot at all.
Right.
And you don't understand how they're together, but they're together. So if you and your husband are hot,
wife.
you don't want a hot wife and an ugly husband that now you have to fuck the ugly husband and the wife gets your husband gets the hot wife.
Yeah.
And you fuck, like, we don't take grenades for each other. If they're not both 10s, we'll talk to each other before we even approach someone, message someone, like, how do you like her? How do you like him? Like, if we're not both feeling it, then you can go see them on your own, babe, or I'll go see them on my own.
So you're messaging each other when you're in the room, like, I don't know about this.
So
Yeah.
do you guys put pineapples on your antennas?
No, we don't have any of the pineapple stuff yet.
Okay.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering if any of the
Rachel,
symbolism.
you know what that is?
So
Yeah, it means you're a swinger.
Yeah, the
Oh.
pineapple.
So
Upside down pineapple.
Yeah.
So there are different like emblems and like flags and stuff that you can either put on your car or you can put it on your profiles and stuff like
That
that,
lets
to let
people
people
know.
know.
Like
So-
E&M means ethically non-monogamous. So if you ever see hashtag E&M on someone's profile, that means that they're in a relationship, but they're ethically non-monogamous.
Ugh, that's crazy.
There are acronyms and colors and all types of shit. Like I remember the silly band movement. I don't
Oh my
know.
goodness, that was
So,
crazy. Do you remember that?
Wait.
All the little bands that you
The
had.
Yeah, in elementary
Like,
school.
yeah, they would mean different things.
Yeah.
So I went to a PWI in Chicago. Shout out to LT.
It's a PWI.
Predominantly white institution.
So
Oh, shit.
yeah.
Jesus.
So
I didn't know there was names for this.
a little
It's
back.
like an HBCU. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's a historically black college or university.
Oh, I went to one of those.
I knew I liked her. I knew I liked her.
That's where she got her.
I know she has some black in her. Come on now.
Yeah, I went to one of those.
But so yeah, I went to a PWI. It's called Lyons Township in Illinois, and it basically like the silly band movement kind of started at southern Illinois to south of the states. So basically, you would get these like packs of bands that were either in shapes of animals or characters or whatever the fuck, and whatever color meant the specific thing. So you would come to school the next day with the color if you went to a party or you did oral or whatever the fuck.
Oh,
And so it was like SVU did an episode on it, so where they were talking about the different colored lipsticks and bracelets and shit. But it was just basically based on silly bands.
oh my gosh.
We were all hoarse. we were all
Okay,
hoarse.
I do remember the silly bands back in like elementary, middle school, but yeah, you're like this is college, so
this was high school.
oh, this is high school.
It was like junior middle school for me when that trend was going on in Alabama. It made it all the way down to the South.
Yeah.
And I would wear them, but I was like, I don't fucking. I didn't lose my virginity until like almost out of high school. Actually, I was like not a whore.
Oh wow.
I was a popular kid. Like everyone knew me, but like
Listen, I was a 1400 minutes kid. Like
Your hottest picture, by the way, is on the John Deere tractor.
oh, I know, right? It's like one of those
You either
things. As
know
a
or you
Southern
don't.
woman,
I grew up
that
in a
is-
four-way
that will go down
crossing.
as my best photo of my entire career.
Yep.
And it's
Wait,
so
I wanna
classic.
see this
I have
photo.
to show you. It's so classic.
Is it on your
It's so
IG?
classic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please put
Isaac.
it up, please.
We had to put in John Deere tractor.
Oh no,
Like,
it's
it
on
is
her
so-
Instagram.
Go on to our Instagram.
It's like that classic. I'm gonna blow it up and put it in my house.
Yeah.
I'm gonna blow it up and put it in my house. It is so
We
like
I-
legendary
Fuck
shot.
Jolene.
When
Look
I
out for
saw
Hazel
it,
Grace.
like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Can you line dance?
Now.
Oh yeah. No, I'm a Southern
Teach me,
belle.
baby.
I'm a Southern belle, baby.
Let's go
I'll
to
teach you.
Stoney's.
Oh, let's do
Hey,
it.
let's go to Stoney's.
Oh my God.
I cook,
my
I
friends were
clean.
just talking about that.
I'm looking for a
Yes,
third because I'm so
cute
busy that I need someone to take care of my husband. I need like a girl to move in and like we
That's
need a
what I
third.
said to the last girl I dated. I was like, you don't cook and you don't clean, but would you just
Bring
Show
someone
you
in.
how I
yeah.
got this ring.
But no, I cook and I'm a real old-fashioned Southern woman.
Southern cooking?
Very much so raised.
Mother's Day?
I was raised to be a wife. My mother very much, like the boys were raised to be providers, the girls were raised to be wives.
I wish.
Yeah. And it's very, it's pretty, it's hard. It's not as fun as one would think. I wanted to go hunting and fishing, but I'm not allowed. I have to do laundry and
traditional.
learn to sew and cook.
Trad wife life is extreme as fuck because
It is.
especially as a Southern wife or Southern mom or whatever, because you literally have to go from blue collar home wife to making meals and shit to going to being the soccer mom and then turning around and still being the country mom at the end of the day, dealing with your husband throwing his beer cans at you.
No.
Oh yeah, my husband.
I
Oh my god,
know.
the fucking beer can. I wake up almost every day to like 13 empty new beer cans in my room. I have to clean up
yeah,
beer
what
cans
kind
every
of-
day. He's a Miller. He has the Miller Lite logo tattooed on his leg.
I'd be like, boy,
Even
there's
though
a
like
damn
that-
trash can right there. You could put your
The
shit
trash
right
can is
there.
Right there. No, I've been married
Right
for
there.
6 years. The laundry basket. The laundry basket will be right there. He'll drop all of his shit right outside of it. And I'm like, no, every day I walk into the bathroom in the morning, he gets ready for work. I clean every fuccking day when I wake up. He
That's
gets
very
ready.
traditional
He wakes
life.
up before me.
Right.
He wakes up before me, so he's up at he's blue collar now. He does power lines. So he wakes up. He's out of the door at 5:30 in the morning. I wake up to go in the bathroom. I can barely open the door because his socks, his boxers, his shirt. And he just threw everything as he went, showered, and just
And
la di da di da. And I'm like, babe, if I didn't fucking love you, Jesus, if you didn't pay my rent,
Yeah.
bitch, pick up your socks.
He's like, that's exactly why I'm leaving right there because I'm paying the rent.
How do you feel about pegging?
I love it. I have some famous pegging scenes on
I'm not gonna ask
peghip.com.
if you pegged your husband.
I don't know if he would want me to answer that
Okay.
question, but I think me saying that answers the question.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. I didn't know about that. As soon as somebody told me, I said, okay, that's gay.
He doesn't let me do it anymore.
did have a
Makes me sad.
We did have a
Ew, no,
producer,
that's gay.
Not Isaac, but we had a producer
Nothing up there.
that was pansexual. But he said pegging somebody isn't gay, and I'm like,
It's not.
Well, I go, but if you do that and you like it, what's next? The real thing?
That's gay. If that's what's next, then that's gay.
mean,
Because
no,
the
what
only
if
thing that is
somebody-
gay by definition is another man fucking you in the ass. If a hot woman is fucking you with a strap, and God put your G-spot in there, we didn't ask him to do it, but that is where you
I
will,
know.
scientifically, that is where you will get the most pleasure. So if you would rather do that with a hot woman than a man, when you do make that next step and you're doing it with a man, fine, you're gay. But if you have not made that step,
Yeah.
you're just I don't think that's gay
You're
at
a
all.
person that enjoys sex, but I
Yeah,
feel like if we're
enjoys
doing all
pleasure.
this shit to die, and, like we're doing everything every day to die. Oh no, I
No, I'm saying this. I'm saying this. What I'm afraid
Wait,
of.
there you go. You got the John Deere tractor.
Oh yeah,
Tractor up here.
the tractor.
If you were my girlfriend and you pegged me, my biggest fear in life would be we break up and you see me at the gym and you're like, yeah, I got that ass, motherfucker.
So
Like, just
no,
something
and that's
like,
the thing. Like,
you,
But I think
I
he's
respect you.
he's not secured masculinity.
would you look at the
that's
guy
what
the
I was
same,
just about
though?
to say.
Would you look at the guy the same? Like,
Yes.
or would you be
no, I would look at them and say. So again, I am a queer person.
okay.
So
Oh,
Look
there
at
we go.
that.
There we go.
oh my god, look at
Hey,
that.
make sure
So
that
things on track.
make sure that push that
It
forward.
really turns around.
Baby,
Push forward.
giddy up.
Yeah. No, that is.
That's hot.
John Deere needs to sign me.
They do need. You should get a full.
We even had the
sponsorship.
super southern house. You see, it's not all nice. And,
Oh, it's
clean.
perfect.
Yeah, it's very much backwoods. Like the
That
whole
looks like
vibe was there.
So that
Yep.
was actually that was your house.
That is in the south in Athens, Georgia.
Look at the grass.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You even see grass.
Uh-huh.
And the grass catcher.
You can tell that thing is used.
Yeah, I see.
For real.
Bro, I
Call your record.
Yeah, and then the hat tip, that's like a classic John Deere move. Like the hat, I was like, ah!
So
You
good.
guys remember the old John
good.
Deere tractor
So good.
commercials where they were literally like, it would start out early in the morning. It would be a farmer coming out.
Wait.
And he would literally have the wheat in his mouth, and he would take his hat, and he'd be riding down in the
Yes.
They low-key used to start coffee commercials like that.
Yes. Throwback. Yeah.
I miss
Oh
Folgers
my
commercials.
gosh.
Dude, I
The
think-
Folgers.
So
Folgers.
I grew up on Folgers and Cafe Bustelo.
Oh.
So I mean
We're
that's
Maxwell House.
Folgers. Yeah.
Folgers and Cafe Bustelo is a staple.
Folgers, I said.
Yeah.
I know. It's a throwback. Isn't
It
it? My
is.
mom still
Yeah.
drinks that shit.
Does she?
Yeah.
Shout out to all the abuelas that still drink Cafe Bustelo.
Abuelas, yes. Shout out. Shout out.
So is Folgers still at the store?
Yes.
I don't, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
It
used
does
to
not
little
taste the
pods
same.
now, like-
So my grandma used to actually get the
Nothing
cans.
tastes the same.
So
Yeah.
the cans of coffee, and literally like it would be fresh ground beans, or it would be the fresh actual ground of coffee, and she would put in the coffee machine, and that shit will still have grounds at the bottom because of how fresh it was. So I need
It was that fine.
I
Yeah.
need
Can I bring it back, please?
Okay.
Yeah, bring it black.
Bring it black.
Bring it black.
Do you
I
plan,
do not like my coffee black.
do you
Yeah,
plan on
same.
having kids?
No.
No.
No, that happens. It happens.
Wrench
It
Of
happens,
course,
happens.
you know, life
Okay.
happens. But not planning on it.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna
Our children
recommend.
ever plan?
I have
not.
so many.
They're absolutely
I have
not
so many
excessive.
nieces and nephews. I have about 20 nieces and nephews, so I'm good on the kids.
So here's why I recommend it. I tell people this. I never thought when I
You
had-
recommend getting a baby?
I do.
Will you help me pay for the
Yeah,
child?
I recommend this.
Yeah.
I'm
Anyone that gives me that recommendation needs to also give me the check that comes with the child. So
Right.
have you
I
seen the
had,
economy today?
I had my son at 28 years old. I was on every drug possible. I missed it because I was touring the world, missed the whole everything. So now I get to relive it with a daughter. But I tell people, there's a circle of life. So I'm like, my parents. I mean, my dad's not around no more, but my mom is. She lives through us kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, how are you gonna miss that era? And then after that era comes the grandparent era, because now the kids are having kids. How would it feel to go through that? Like if
I have 20 nieces and nephews. I'm
Oh,
not going to
there
go through that alone. They love their auntie,
Yeah.
and I'm never around because I'm out building
So-
an empire for them to be able to take them on all the vacations and do all the things because their parents
How
like
many
struggle to
brothers
take
and
care of them
sisters?
and do. I was adopted, so I have a lot of brothers and sisters. My parents are very well known in the state of Alabama as foster parents. Like they're saints. But biologically, I'm the middle child. I have one older brother, one older sister, and two younger sisters. And from my adopted family and my biological family, I do have about 20, and they love me. They love when I come around. They love their Uncle Carson, and I take them on vacations. I take them on trips. When I'm home, I spend time with them, and I get my little fill of the kids. But ultimately, like a lot of them are in 2-parent households. My
Yeah.
siblings are married, and they still have to struggle to take care of them because that's what the state of the world is right now. And like, yeah, they give them everything they want, but like on top of that, like the Disney trips and everything, like that's where I can come in and help because I don't have that. People don't like to hear this, but burden of a child. It is a burden. And
different
so
world.
I can then take the extra income that I have to help them out, help out my siblings with my nieces and nephews when they want to play sports, so they need extra money for this or for that. Because yeah, that's just kind of how it is. Plus personally, like again, if it happens, it happens, but I don't want to have to explain to my kids what I do. I know that people do it, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And some of the best kids I know are kids of porn stars and porn star marriages and families. But
I'm glad
personally,
you said that.
I don't know. Some of the best kids
I think
know.
about mine. I'm
Listen,
like,
some of the
porn
best
star
kids I know.
music.
They're
I'm
so
like a
much
crazy
better,
little-
and their heads are on their shoulder. They're prepared for more in life because they've seen more. But yeah, not for me. But I love kids.
What about do you know your biological parents? Have you had any?
I do.
You do? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So did you go find them?
So it's kind of a very unique story. Again, my mother is a saint. She's technically my grandmother. My biological mom, when she was 14, her mother passed away, and then just a year later, her dad passed away. She's 15, so she was put into a group home. And my mother found her and brought her in. And my mom obviously wasn't doing good in life. She had lost both of her parents. She had already had my brother and my sister, and was pregnant with me by the time my mom found her. But she hadn't aged out of the system yet. So my mom was always known for like, I'm not just going to take the newborns. Any kid that needs a home, any kid with any problems, like I'm going to try to help them through it. And so she brought my mom in while she's pregnant with me. I was born in my mom's house. And then my mom ran off to kind of figure out her life for a while. And my mom my grandmother, but mom adopted me and my sister to keep us close. And, you know, she's like, whenever your mom does get her life together, they were always super honest with us. You know, we kept you so that you wouldn't get lost in the system. She could always come back and get you whenever she was ready. Because it's not always that easy when you get your life together. It's still not easy to get your kids back from the system because you had fucked up. So like my mom wanted to make that transition as easy for her as possible. And then she did have 2 younger daughters after me, and my dad, who raised them, kept us all together as a family. So I've always been super close with my mom, my dad, my stepdad, and all of my biological siblings, as well as my larger family that I was adopted into.
That's good.
I ask people that a lot, and a lot of people will be like, no, I have no interest. And I'm like, you got to think about that. I said, sometimes people just aren't doing good at that point in their life, and you might go out and find them. They might be great people today, and they regret it just as much, but then what do you do? But I know it's a tough situation.
I don't have any children. I come from a big family, and I wasn't adopted or anything like that. But I recognize that with having the childhood that I did have, I don't want to have children because of what I experienced. And I never want to put children through what I experienced. But I also realize that not having children at my big age allows me the space to reparent myself. And I'm like, okay, well, this is what I would have needed at the time, and I'm able to give those things to myself or be a little bit more lenient or patient with myself. And a lot of people who have kids right now aren't capable of doing that with themselves or with their children. So a lot of times it's more so about, okay, well, even if you're not ready right now, are you capable of being like, you know what, I'm taking the opportunity to learn and move through experiences and grow with my child versus just being like, I gotta parent you all the time. You're still growing too. So I think that's
parents are always growing. You're still growing right now with this little girl.
Like parenting doesn't stop at 18. You know?
When I had a little girl being in my 40s, and one of my bosses said to me, hey, you're going to be on the senior breakfast by the time she's 18. I'm like, fuck you. But I was like, at this point in my life, I love it because I'm so chill.
She makes you young too, doesn't she?
Yeah, 28. I was a mess. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck do I do?
But I would kill to be like 16 or like 8, even going to my Girl Scouts daddy-daughter dance with you at your 50s, 40s age. You feel?
Because I did. My dad was in his 60s. My parents are old. My parents that adopted me, they're like 70s, almost 80s. So when I was like 18, I think my mom was like 60 or something.
Yeah.
It was,
So it's like the same. Being able to conceptualize as an older person, and my grandparents were young when they passed away.
Question for you.
Or technically. So it was just like, being able to conceptualize at your old age or your now adult age that your parents or your grandparents or whatever are still around and be able to realize those experiences, you don't have that time when you're a child. So it's just being able to navigate what's the best space or the most comfortable space for you to even do that, you know?
Coming from parents that were also older, did you have this like appreciation that you, like, I'm sure you had friends whose parents were like 20s.
Yeah.
And like, do you have like an appreciation that like, because like their homes always seem so chaotic to me.
Yeah.
So they're like,
no, I definitely, okay, when I was younger, I always kind of wanted younger parents because it felt like cooler, like, oh, you know, your mom, you're just like hanging out with your mom,
they're
your
best
dad.
friends.
Like, they're like your best friend. Like, you can talk to them about anything and they understand. And like my mom, she didn't understand things as I was like younger, growing up, you know, going through all this stuff. And as I got older, I started to appreciate my older parents because of everything that they taught me, their traditions, how they raised me and everything like that. I do appreciate that more because I feel like I have a different perspective learning from like older parents.
Definitely.
My mom was born in 55. My dad was born in 60. So
my mom was born in the 40s.
Your
40s.
Your parents. So her parents, how old are the same ages?
My mom is definitely like 67 or something like that.
Yeah. So
68.
Your parents were the same age as my grandparents, who were the people that raised me.
Yeah.
As you get older, like I said, I'm in such a chill spot in my life. I love it. Like there's nothing better than. But again, you still have these little spurts where you're like, "Fuck, I want to just jump up and." Now, if you can,
everything.
If you can afford to do that, you know, I've been blessed enough to be able to do that. But for other people, yes.
And you know, unfortunately, like that's a big topic of conversation just in the world right now. Is like people aren't having kids, and I think it's not that they don't want to have that experience that you were describing of growing old and having the grandparent stage and having that connection to the younger generation. People want that. People just don't want to bring a child into this world that they can't give everything to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they want
Yeah.
to give them the world. Like, you want to give your little girl the world?
Yeah, I
And
feel like it's
wanna-
what you said. It happens when it happens. I didn't try to do either one. It just happens.
Yeah.
It's just like
That part.
God made that happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm at this phase in my life where like I've lived a lot of life to be 28, and I recognize that I want to actually grow old with somebody and have that experience of like the up experience.
I think that's the most important
know,
thing.
so
People are
it's-
also like going away from relationships.
exactly.
I get going away from kids, but not to have a partner to grow old with,
you know,
to
and
be
so
on
that-
that
I
front
think-
porch with at 80.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's the scary thing for a lot of people, because a lot of people don't know that their person is out there. They're not even willing to
They've
try
given
or,
up.
or even leave their hometowns. Like I've lived in 13 states in 28 years, you know, so I've seen a lot of people, I've experienced a lot of people, and a lot of people aren't even able to conceptualize what another state looks like, let alone another country.
That their person may not
So,
be here. Yeah.
Exactly. So a lot of
Yeah.
people don't even recognize, oh, well, I'm even going to grow old. I'm going to have kids, you know, so it's that conceptualized or that realization of being so aware of the fact that you don't even know what that looks like for you, which is why a lot of people aren't having children or aren't even capable of feeling comfortable spending their life with somebody, because they don't know what that is, it even looks like, you know? So
And I do, because my parents grow old. They're still together.
they growed old together.
They growed old together.
So where we
Not today.
before we wrap this up, where can people find you at, Hazel?
So I have 3 websites technically.
Oh Jesus.
They're all super dope and beautiful, so you should check them all out. I don't know if you can pull them up, but they're actually like pretty dope.
See if you can.
Officialhazelgrace.com. And so that's got all of my info and stuff on it. That's got all my links. So like my social media, my TikTok, my Instagram, my Twitter. You can also find all of my XXX links on there, my OnlyFans, my mini-vids, my Pornhub. You can find an About Me page and also a little description of InMelanin. And it'll provide you a link to my
love
next
that, by the
website,
way.
which is inmelanin.com. And that is a pay site, $19.95 a month. Check us out. It's all women of color. We've got we release a new scene every Friday, but as of right now, I think we have about 40 scenes on there. Some big names. We've got September Rain. We've got Mocha Minaj. We've got Clara, Mina Carlisle, Clara, Trinity, etc. But yeah, this is my main website. You can contact me here if you have any questions. Make sure you're talking to me. But yeah, I also have a Spoil Me thing. So my my Cash App, my Cash App and everything. And then yeah, if you click at Melanin Productions right there, and then you visit the InMelanin website.
Oh, I went to the website. We can't show it on the stream.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, you probably can't. You probably can't.
Hold on that side.
Yeah, good job.
And then you probably can't show my next one either, but so inmelanin.com is my pay site, officialhazelgrace.com is my main site, but then you can also follow my schedule because I'm a busy girl and I tour at hazelgracexxx.com. You can contact me and like check out where I'm gonna be at that random time.
What about
Hazel Grace,
Sex
Hazel
Panther?
Nuts.
You on that?
I am on Sex Panther. You can get that under my XXX links there. Yeah, officially every link that's Hazel is there. And there's a lot of fakes of me out there. I don't want anyone getting scammed or like etc. So please visit my site. Make sure you're talking to me. Send me an email, verify, etc. Never send anyone your card info. I'm never gonna ask for that. If I want you to send me money, it's gonna be through a secure link or a secure website. So yeah.
That's great. What about you, Lil
Yeah,
Rach?
heard that. Well, you can find me on the interwebs at Lowrach, LALRAYCH.
Interweb.
Low rate. I
You got your little tan line if you out there.
Hey, I'm working on it. Okay.
Mine are fading.
Yeah, I just worked on mine today.
Here I am outside tanning nude and shit.
Let's go, baby.
Oh, you Taki.
I am on everything. Taki Tsunami, TAKITSUNAMI __ I don't currently have a website anymore. It used to be takitsunami.fans because that's where all of my wavy babies go. However, you guys can find me just about anywhere. So yeah, just look up Taki Tsunami, not me as in ME, but MI.
Ooh.
Adam.
What about
then-
you?
You can just find me on Green Room Radio. I did get my personal page stolen, and I cannot handle. I did start another personal. I can't handle 2 pages.
Yeah, it's a lot.
A lot. How about you, Mr. Isaac? Where can they find you at?
They can find me on Twitter at
Water.
Izzy_plus. Yeah, it's water. And
Nice.
yes, I produce all the Green Room shows. So
Don't give
all
me
right.
pleasure. Don't call it that.
Well, thank you, Hazel. It was definitely worth
Thank you
the
for
year.
having
The
me.
year that I.
Do you guys ever have guests like back again, or is it?
Yes, we do.
Okay, well, I'd love to come back.
Yeah.
Love to hear from you.
Kings of Leon, baby.
In the
Yeah.
I'm coming in the goddamn winter.
Good. Yeah, you need to.
Okay.
It's a little cold out here, just so you know.
I mean, I'll take that over 113 degrees.
Honestly,
We
you
better
will
blast the
regret
heat
that
up in this
sentence the
bitch.
moment that you come out here for AVN next year.
Oh, I've been out here during avian, and I always catch the avian flu, and I always get sick. Yeah, I know it's
I
fucking
have
brutal.
thankfully been to
But it
3
doesn't snow.
AVNs in my 2 years of being in the industry mainstream, and I have not caught.
Okay.
I haven't been going. You
Yeah, we
guys
gotta
help me.
jump out here. Peace out, you guys. Let's jump out.
Bye.